This small seaside town in North Canterbury has a rich history due to the abundance of wildlife that call the area home. And for the same reasons, it's now a nature lover's dream destination. From whales to albatross to seals, you can get up close and personal with heaps of different species here. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Kaikoura. We drove up first thing this morning from Christchurch and we stopped in town quickly, got a bite to eat for breakfast at Why Not Cafe. It was really good. Highly recommend it if you guys need a place for breakfast in town. And then after that, we just headed straight out towards the peninsula to the seal colony because I haven't been here in a couple of years and I know the landscape has changed quite a bit. So I just really wanted to come out here and see how all the seals are doing. And there are seals everywhere. So I think they're doing pretty well. Just on our way back into town, but we decided to stop off at Jimmy Armours Beach because of the history of the place. Back in the whaling days of Kaikoura, this place was really significant because this is where they would drag a lot of the whales in and leave them on the beach after they were done slaughtering them. So there's actually a ton of whale bones here that are usually buried, but after there's a big storm or a lot of rainfall, which there has been earlier this week, the bones become uncovered. So there's this little stream behind us and it's just absolutely littered with whale bones. So this is a really cool spot that I don't think a whole lot of people know about, so you should definitely come check it out. I do have to mention though that the bones are monitored because they are archaeologically significant, so you cannot take them. So come check it out, but make sure you leave the bones. Welcome to the Kaikoura Museum. This museum just opened up after the earthquakes, soon after the earthquakes, and it is such a cool spot. There's so much to see here, but it's in quite a compact area so that, you know, you could probably see it all in a half an hour if you wanted, an hour, 2 hours, kind of just depends on how in depth you want to go with everything. There's also some really good wildlife exhibits here that give some good information about the species in the area and also species that used to occupy the area, like the moa and some marine dinosaurs. And of course, there's some information about how Captain Cook discovered the area and about the Maori that were here before he arrived. The museum is definitely worth visiting, guys. It's probably the perfect rainy day activity for Kaikoura since there isn't a whole lot to do indoors here. Pretty much everything is outdoors, getting into nature.
Even if it is a beautiful day,
yeah,
it doesn't take that long to go through, but the stories and how everything is written is very easy to read. There's tons of pictures, tons of motion pictures, videos and stuff, and it's very interactive. It's really an all-weather sort of thing to do, really.
After finishing up at the museum and wandering around town for a bit, we headed to the Pier Restaurant for dinner. Since the late 1800s, the pier has been a staple of the Kaikoura community. Food at the pier is incredible, and I would personally recommend trying the crayfish, the dish that Kaikoura was named after. After dinner, we headed to our accommodation for the night, the Albatross Backpackers. The Albatross has a comfy, quirky, and laid-back atmosphere. The walls are totally covered in artwork from previous guests, and they even have a painting station where you can create your own work for the wall. There are guitars and ukuleles to jam on and a full kitchen with everything you could need for preparing your afternoon catch. We spent the evening chatting with other guests and playing some board games before calling it a night and getting some rest for a big day tomorrow. Good morning, guys. The first thing that I did when I woke up this morning was kind of just pull open the curtain and see what the weather was like outside, and it was just blue skies. So I'm super excited for today. We've got some awesome activities planned, mostly out on the water.
Bright and early, we headed out on a kayaking tour around the peninsula with Kaikoura kayaks. The stunning views from the kayaks alone make it worthwhile, but if you're lucky, you might be greeted by some unexpected guests.
So next up for today, guys, we're headed out on a boat to get up close and personal with some of the biggest seabirds in the world. But before that, we're gonna get a quick bite to eat at a little food truck that's quite famous around here.
Over 40 species in the area, Kaikoura has the greatest seabird diversity in all of New Zealand. We were lucky enough to see everything from petrels and shearwaters to mollymocks, and we even got the chance to see the Guinness World Record holder for the largest wingspan, the wandering albatross, which can have a wingspan of up to 3.5 meters.
We have just arrived at what must be one of the most incredible accommodations in New Zealand. We are at the Manukau Pure Pod just outside of Kaikoura, and this view is something out of a movie. I cannot describe it. It is so amazing. The mountains are just right here. There's some sheep down on the plains in the valley, and behind us we have these rolling hills, the snow-capped mountains in front of us. It is just gorgeous. So to get out to this pier pod, we had to drive just like 20 minutes outside of Kaikoura. Then we had a short walk up to the pod from the car park. So this is kind of a really secluded place. There's no one else around here, no one can see you, and you have this beautiful glass house all to yourself. Even the shower's glass, and the shower has it might be the best view a shower has in the whole world.
You can either bring your own food to cook, or you can order food and it will be waiting for you to prepare when you arrive. Everything is sourced locally and is delicious. The rest of the evening consisted of relaxing under the Milky Way from the comfort of our own bed. How good is that?
Good morning, everyone. How is this for a sunrise view? So we're just packing up the Pure Pod, then we're heading back into town because we've got a couple more awesome activities planned today before we head back to Christchurch.
Wings over whales is definitely a Kaikoura must-do. The area is home to several sperm whales. The pilots are really knowledgeable when it comes to the whales and gave us some great information before we got started. While we were waiting for the whales to surface, we were treated with a quick flyover of the snow-capped mountains. When we headed back out over the ocean, we spotted 2 sperm whales on the surface and got to circle them for about 10 minutes until they dove back under.
So
That was really good.
amazing.
We are at our last stop in Kaikoura before we head back to Christchurch. We've had an awesome weekend, but to end it off the right way, we are going to take a walk around the Kaikoura Peninsula.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this weekend away in Kaikoura. Hopefully you've come away with some ideas for planning your own getaway to this beautiful spot.